I can't remember a time in my life when I didn't want to fly. And my mother always told the story of pushing me in a baby stroller, and if an airplane went overhead, she said I would point to it and kick my feet. When I was about 8 or 9, then I would start begging people to take me out to the local airport so I could watch the airplanes take off and land. And I thought, oh, that is the coolest job in the whole world. I didn't get to start flying until I left for college my freshman year. I went straight to the airport, took my first flying lesson. I came home from that lesson, I walked in the house and I said, I will fly for the rest of my life. At that point in time, there weren't any women airline pilots, but I knew I was going to fly in some capacity. Back then, the airplanes had 3 pilots. So we're all pilots when we're hired, but you started as flight engineers. In 1979, I happened to be the first female co-pilot for American. And I think that's when they really took notice of me as a pilot. Once you become a co-pilot, you are physically flying the airplane. And I actually had a passenger walk by. She looked in and she saw me sitting at the panel, and she said, I didn't know the captain had a secretary. The guys would just stare at me and they're like, oh my gosh, I have a female co-pilot. It was very unusual. So, you kind of had to prove yourself. And what I felt like was so important is I had to gain their respect. If they respected me as a pilot and respected my abilities, then I was no different than a guy. When we left Gander in 2001, I didn't know if I'd ever be back. I always knew that I wanted to take my family back. I wanted more than anything for them to know where I spent those 5 days. There's hardly a day that goes by that somebody doesn't message me, Facebook me, email me, and especially moms of young girls. This lady came up to me on the curb and said, thank you for sharing your story. I'm honored that my story is impacting young girls to this day, especially after having been inspired by so many women before me. Sharing my story with audiences has been life-changing, and I'm so grateful to be a part of this show's journey.